Hey guys, it's Cassie. Today I'm going to be talking about the 7 worst first designer bags to buy. Don't do it to yourself. I will be explaining everything. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie. I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're probably going to love it here, so head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Guys, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so as a disclaimer, this is just the worst first designer bags in my opinion, okay? I'm going to be going through, as we go through the bags, why specifically I don't think they're great purchases for your first luxury bag. But this is just my opinion, and please know that the most important thing when buying your first designer bag is that you are obsessed with it and you love it, and you know that you're not just going to get over it in a couple of months, right? So even the bags that I talk about today, if you're obsessed with it and everything else, that's the main thing, but please do still listen because you might pick up on things that you haven't thought about before. Okay, so the first bag on my list, well, it's actually 2, is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull and the Speedy, okay? Now, why are they on my worst? There is nothing clearly wrong with these bags. The thing is that they're everyone's suggestion, okay? This was my first designer bag. I was obsessed with it. I wore it day in, day out, loved everything there was to do with this bag, right? So I completely get the appeal. I've also done a video on the 5 reasons why you shouldn't buy the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. I will have that linked below. Everybody suggests the Neverfull or the Speedy, and I see why, okay? They're Louis Vuitton classics. We get it. If you're talking about investment value, they're a good shout, right? But my issue is that because everybody suggests it, a lot of people will go, oh, okay, well, that's a good bag to start with, I'll get that bag. And it might not be the one that you're in love with. You might not have done any more research behind that, apart from the fact that you know that this is a good bag, full stop. I do think that they're very predictable choices. Nothing wrong with that. But it's just that a lot of people don't get past that and don't look into any other options because it is a daunting activity buying your first designer bag. You don't want to get it wrong. There are so many bags and brands and choices out there that I think if you're just going straight to these 2, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. If you go out and you research and everything else and you're like, no, actually, still, I think these are the best bags for me and I'm obsessed, then go for it. But don't just pick it because it's the choice that everybody says that you should go for. Bag number 2 is one of my personal favourite bags, but I don't think it's a great first designer bag purchase, and that is the Dior saddle bag. I love this bag. I think it's great. I think it's iconic. I am here for the vibes. The problem with a bag like this for your first designer bag is that it is so distinctive of a shape and it's not that versatile. If you're just gonna buy it straight off the shelf as it is, you're only shoulder strapping it, okay? She is a shoulder, or she is in the crook of the elbow, or, you know, holding it in your hand. You can't do a hands-free. If you want to do crossbody, then you're going to have to buy a strap, and that's an extra, those things are like almost $1,000, I think. So it is possible. It's just like, when you're thinking of your first designer bag, I kind of feel like you should be like set up and ready to go. You know, you shouldn't be having to add X, Y, and Z to customize it to your needs. But aside from that, because of its very like distinctive shape, right? And because the shape is a bit weird, it doesn't lend itself that well to like everyday situations, you know? This is you've got an odd separation of space that's going on in there, you know? You can fit stuff in it, it's just not a great everyday bag, okay? And I think, personally, in my opinion, for your first designer bag, I think that it should be an everyday bag, right? Whatever that looks like to you, whether it's a tote or a crossbody situation, you know? Fabulous bag. I just don't think it's a great first designer bag. Bag number 3 is the Gucci Marmont shoulder bag. Now, I think we all know that I have beef with the Gucci Marmont line, all right? But putting that aside, let's drill down a little bit into this. So this one, the Gucci Marmont logo, was introduced as an addition to the regular Gucci logo, okay? It wasn't like the Marmont logo replaced the Gucci logo. So there's always this air of like temporariness about it, like, is this gonna be around for a while, or is this just like a, you know, it's almost like it has a time limit on it. And in my personal opinion, I feel like the Marmont range is coming to an end. I think, there we go, I said it. I'm predicting the demise of the Gucci Marmont range. And therefore, if you're looking to buy a designer bag Right now, I don't think it should be that bag. I see the appeal, the shape, the size, it's a very good, everyday, very good first designer bag, aside from the fact that I think that the collection itself dates it a bit. You want to have a level of confidence in it going to be around for a while, you know? So that's just, or at least that you're just going to love it even if it's out of season, out of trend or whatever, that you're still going to love it regardless. So that's my thoughts. Worst designer bag to buy, number 4, off-white bags in general. Again, the issue here is longevity. This is a brand that, especially within bags, is quite trendy and of the now, and I wonder in a year or so if you're still going to love that bag as much as you did when you bought it, right? With the type of brand it is, it's extremely streetweary. You see the logo, you know it's off-white, you have a certain kind of vision of the brand, and that is like casual and streetwear and cool, right? So I think that kind of limits it with, you know, say if you wanted to use a bag for a nice dinner or something like that, I think that that association with the bag means that it's hard to use from day to night. I think that it's very much a bag that kind of like works within one style. And if that is your style and you're that style from day to night, fancy dinner or not and all of that, then fair enough, but I think it's just something to keep in mind. 5th worst designer bag, this is the Saint Laurent Kate bag with tassel. Don't buy, for your first designer bag, do not buy anything with a detail that cannot be removed that has the potential to piss you off. If there is a tassel, it would be lovely to be able to remove that when you're not interested, right? So this bag does come with or without tassel. Now without tassel, I also think that it's almost the opposite with the off-white bags that I was talking about. I think that that style is very formal, which is great for like evening, but I think for every day it almost looks a little bit out of place. So again, you have that kind of like versatility question. The next bag is another bag I love and wholeheartedly endorse on this channel, but not for your first designer bag, and that is the Jacquemus Chiquito. This bag is not practical, okay? You can fit cards, minus the card holder, keys, possibly a small lip gloss, hand sanitizer, mask, right? This bag is really only made for like a tiny flex. There is no level of practicality and everyday ease of use with this bag. Even the way it opens is like a little bit awkward, right? Like if it's across your body, this thing, you've got to like go here. It hinges its whole self, including the handle, right? So as much as I love this bag, I think it's almost like a fun extra. Like when you have an everyday bag and you're happy with it and you want to have a little bit of fun, fair enough, 100%. You know I'm here for you. But for your first designer bag, do not get swayed by this. If it's your first, then I think it also has the tendency to, you might get bored of it very quickly. Whereas if it's not your first designer bag, then I think that air of novelty and fun is going to stay with the bag longer. Okay, the 7th worst designer bag to buy, I have another example here for you, is the Bottega cassette bag. Correction, I'm talking about the padded cassette. Obviously my version here is the chain cassette because I see a chunky gold chain and I run for it. Everything else about the bag is the same apart from the straps, okay? There are a few things about this bag that are annoying and I don't think lend itself to be used as a first designer bag very well. My main issue is the fact that this bag does not have a lining, okay? And I know that you can go and get a bag organizer and everything else. That's going to take up room, and this, although it does have room in here, the structure of it kind of eats into the room a little bit more, right, with all of this padding. So you're going to be, so you're just cutting down on space for yourself. Let's say you don't get a bag organizer, you are just risking scratching up the insides to no end. This is just little things that you really don't need to be worrying about for your first designer bag. Your first designer bag should be hard wearing, it should be carefree to a certain extent, right? But there's just like little things to make your life easier, and this bag is only just going to make it harder, right? So you've got the lining issue. On top of that, it's got a very strange fasten that, again, it's almost like a hook situation. Oh God, you see? Because the last thing you want to do with your first designer bag, this glorious magical experience, is to be pissed off with it over time, okay? And I'm trying to let that happen as little as possible. The other thing with this bag is that it's very soft leather, which you may think is a nice thing. And it is a nice thing. Apart from the fact that, once again, you'll need to look out for it, you'll need to be careful, you need to make sure that, you know, it's not going to get scratched and everything else. I hope that was really helpful. Let me know if you have any more questions in the comments. I'm going to leave a link to another video here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye guys.